true classic in the world of Realm of Secrets stories. Hey everyone, and welcome to Realm of Secrets. First off, a huge shout out to over 200 new subscribers who've joined in the last few weeks. Thank you all and welcome aboard. Now, for those of you who haven't seen all the previous videos, I want to mention that things work a bit differently here on this channel. And by that, I mean this. Area 51, or whether you call it a base, a region, or something else, is a topic everyone already knows. You've probably seen almost everything there is to see about it, and I don't want to waste time repeating the same stuff. Where the base is, when it was built, what the government says it's for. It's been said 100 times already. This video is going to be a little different. One of the main goals of this channel is to bring you lesser known but still fascinating topics. And for some of you, this might be the first time you're even hearing about it. Who is Bob Lazar, or by his full name, Robert Scott Lazar? He's the man who claims to have worked at a secret facility known as S4, located within Area 51 in Nevada. In a previous video, we explored classified secrets revealed by hacker Gary McKinnon, including those involving the US military and NASA. But now we turn to the astonishing claims of someone who says he worked inside Area 51 itself. So sit back and enjoy the story. In 1989, a man named Bob Lazar contacted a television station in Las Vegas, claiming he had worked as a physicist on a top-secret program called Project Galileo, a project focused on reverse engineering alien technology. He said the research took place at an underground facility known as S4, located about 10 miles south of Area 51. According to Lazar, the technology he worked on was centuries ahead of anything known to modern science. Television journalist George Knapp took an interest in Lazar's story and began investigating, but right away he hit a major obstacle. As we already know, Area 51 is located in a heavily restricted zone, making it impossible for outsiders to access and verify Lazar's claims. Even more troubling was the fact that Lazar's background couldn't be confirmed. He claimed that the government had erased all records of his employment at Los Alamos National Laboratory, his academic degrees, and even his birth certificate. I know it sounds unbelievable, but it gets even stranger. So, there were no official records confirming that Bob Lazar ever worked at Los Alamos National Laboratory. But still, the reporter kept digging and found something very interesting. Lazar's name appeared in an old phone book used by Los Alamos scientists. He also came across an old issue of the Los Alamos Monitor magazine that featured Lazar's photo, and even some former employees said they remembered him. This story sounds insane, but was it really the US government and intelligence agencies behind an attempt to erase this man's existence? Once you hear what Bob Lazar was involved in, it starts to make a lot more sense. Lazar claims he worked at a secret facility called S4 between December 1988 and April 1989. And during that time he had access to highly classified information. According to him, not only did he read government documents about alien autopsies, but he also saw actual biological specimens, and that his main task was reverse engineering of crashed alien spacecraft. According to him, there were 9 different types of alien craft hidden in underground hangars. Yes, Bob Lazar claims he worked directly on alien spacecraft. He described them as being between 30 to 40 feet in diameter, with small consoles and seats, so small in fact, that it looked like they were built for children. He also claimed that the aliens came from the 4th planet of a binary star system called Zeta Reticuli 2. According to him, the alien spacecraft operated by amplifying gravitational waves, using a reactor powered by an element with atomic number 115, an element he said couldn't be synthesized on Earth. This element allegedly generated something called A-wave gravity, allowing the spacecraft to bend space and time, and even become invisible. As I understand it, this isn't invisibility like we see in movies that use some kind of cloaking device. Instead, it's a byproduct of the propulsion system itself, which bends space and time. The spacecraft doesn't travel in a straight line. It warps space and can cross massive distances in just a split second. This idea is actually explained really well in the movie Interstellar during the scene where they talk about how wormholes work. If you haven't seen it yet, I totally recommend it. What's fascinating is that the way these spacecraft operate seems to defy Einstein's principle that nothing can travel faster than light, and if Bob Lazar's story is true, then we're looking at one of the most secretive and bizarre projects ever undertaken by the US government. Before jumping to conclusions, watch a bit of his interview. The man is honestly fascinating. And who knows, as strange as it sounds, maybe it's all true.
The American government denies that this place even exists. But this Russian satellite photo tells a different story, showing huge hangars and an enormous runway. The place is Area 51 in the Nevada desert. It was built in the 1950s to test top-secret aircraft. The stealth fighter was developed here. Security's tight inside and outside the base. American scientist Robert Lazar claimed he worked in the highest security section called S4.
The security was unbelievably oppressive. There was a security guard everywhere following you all the time. There was never any free discussion allowed, which is the basis of science.
Recently, Lazar caused a sensation when he revealed that he'd been ordered to investigate the propulsion systems of captured alien spacecraft.
My work involved the back engineering of an extraterrestrial craft, specifically the propulsion and power source. The UFOs are very typical. As far as a typical UFO is, it's two inverted dishes, two inverted pie plates, if you wish, and with a hump on the top. Metallic looking, no wings, no fins, no visible propulsion source. Inside they're very sparse. If you come in the main entryway, you'll see 3 seats, the central reactor and waveguide that goes to the ceiling, the 3 gravity amplifiers surrounding it, and you'll really see just about nothing else.
The authorities immediately denied his claims, and now he says they've tried to erase his identity from all official records. George Knapp is a well-respected investigative reporter with KLAS-TV. He broke the story, including the claim that Lazar worked at Los Alamos in New Mexico, where the atomic bomb was developed.
The lab denied any knowledge of his existence, denied that he'd ever worked there. We came back with a phone book from the lab that shows Bob's name in it, that he was, in fact, there. They still denied any knowledge that he had ever worked there. I asked Bob if he'd be willing to take a polygraph test, and he didn't hesitate. The polygraph examiner, after conducting a series of 4 different tests, concluded that Bob is telling the truth about what he saw out there, about working at the base, about seeing the flying saucers, about working on anti-gravity propulsion systems, telling the truth. I had a former employee quiz him for a period of 2 hours about simple things, not where are the flying saucers stored, but where's the cafeteria? How do you pay for your meal? What's it look like inside? Those sorts of things, and that employee is convinced that Bob really was out there.
Were you threatened?
I was threatened, and my wife's life was threatened also.
And why do you think that those threats were not carried out?
Probably because that I went public.
In the recent blockbusting film Independence Day, the plot features Area 51 and a recovered alien spacecraft.
As you can see from the repairs, we've been trying to put her back together since the late 1960s.
It's long been suggested that alien spacecraft have crashed on Earth.
It's only happened in the last few days.
The most famous incident happened allegedly near Roswell Air Base, New Mexico, in 1947. Eyewitnesses claim they saw wreckage of a flying saucer and injured extraterrestrials. Whatever happened at Roswell, there's no dispute about the many official documents which indicate the American government knows more than it's letting on about UFOs.
How did these craft get into the hands of the US government?
I really have no idea how the craft got there. I don't believe there were crashes because the craft weren't damaged. And that's about all that I can say.
How do you know, though, that these were extraterrestrial craft?
First of all, we were back engineering the technology, which means we were taking a finished product and trying to figure out how it was originally designed and developed. Second of all, the technology that we're dealing with doesn't exist.
Did you ever see them fly?
They were frequently tested. They were tested normally on Wednesday nights when the traffic was lowest in the area. I saw one test close up and several tests at a distance of about 15 miles.
Certainly the American military have been testing saucer-shaped craft. This top-secret research film from the 60s has just come to light. But even after nearly 30 years, the security services still refuse to talk about it. More recently, work on so-called black projects has been carried out at Area 51, including the stealth aircraft and strategic defense initiative weapons to be used in outer space. But were they only developed to protect America against earthly enemies? Or was there a more urgent purpose behind President Reagan's Star Wars project?
Perhaps we need some outside universal threat to make us recognize this common bound. I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
This unique NASA transmission shows an object following the space shuttle. The picture flares in what could be a magnetic pulse. Next, is this a missile or laser weapon being fired from Earth at the UFO? The UFO changes direction and accelerates away at what experts believe to be a speed of up to 900,000 miles an hour. Could it be the UFO was taking evasive action from Star Wars missiles fired at it from the Earth? Many believe this is only the latest evidence of a continuing series of cover-ups of the real truth about UFOs.
Let me know in the comments what you think about all of this. I'm really curious to hear what is your opinion. Unfortunately, there's just no way to cover every detail in one video, and what you've seen here only scratches the surface of what might be hidden from us. There are dozens, maybe even hundreds of former US agency employees who have gone public with their own stories. Are all of them lying? Yes, some are definitely lying, but all of them? That's for you to decide. There's no shortage of stories like this, and I plan to cover many more. Until then, see you in the next video.